This section will be on simplifying monomials A.4.1. First, let's start with the laws of exponents. I would like you to write these down and to remember some basic principles about exponents. First is that you have the base, and then you will have a raised power, which we call exponents. As an example, I have 2, which is our base, and 3, which is our exponent. The way we will say this is 2 to the third power, or 2 cubed. If I take or simplify this, 2 times 2 times 2, using repeated multiplication, it will equal to 8. A couple things I want you to remember about exponents is when I have 2, x to the third power, that 2 is what we call the coefficient. And 3, this is a base because it is raised to an exponent. Along with the laws of exponents, here are some of our rules. Number 1, multiplying powers with the same base. If I have a to the m power times a to the n power, what I will get is a to the m plus n power. So what we state as our rule is that when I'm multiplying powers with the same base, I add their exponents. Second rule, when I'm dividing powers with the same base, I have a to the m power divided by a to the n power. This will give me a to the m minus n. Another way we could state this is that when I am dividing two powers with the same exponents, I subtract their powers. Rule number 3. I have a to the n power to the n power. This one's a little tricky. What we would do is we would take our two powers and we would multiply them. The base will stay the same. One thing to note, for each one of these rules here, I started with, in example 1, 2 bases and I only end up with 1. For rule number 2, I had 2 bases as well, and I only end up with 1. What we do is we take the powers and we put those together by subtracting, and with rule number 1, we add them. Back to rule number 3. For rule number 3, I have a to the m power to the n power, which equals a to the m times n. Another way we can state this is that if I have a power of a power, I multiply the exponents. 2 more rules. Number 4. Anytime that I have a to the 0 power, this is equal to 1. It is to be stated that a cannot be equal to 0. A to the 0 power is equal to 1. Lastly, rule number 5. If I have anytime I have a base with a negative exponent, I must always figure out a way to make this positive. This can be done by simply turning it into a fraction and then flipping that fraction over, where that same power is now brought down to our denominator and now it is made positive. So a to the negative m power is equal to 1 over a to the m power. And again, anytime I have a negative exponent, it has to be brought positive by putting it as a denominator and making sure that the power stays positive.